networking outside of your comfort zone. To me, that sounds like a horror movie in the making. But over time, when I was a student to where I'm at today, it took a lot of practice to talk to strangers outside of my comfort zone. So today, my guest is going to talk about ways that you can overcome some of that fear, ways that you can network and build your professional network just by coming out of your comfort zone here on Early Career Unlocked. So, welcome, Alejandro.
Hi, Leah. It's great to be here.
Just for our viewers to know, Alejandro and I used to work at the same company a couple years ago, but we were in different teams. And through networking outside of my little HR bubble, talking to strangers, Alejandro knows this, I was able to build a professional network outside of my comfort zone. And I was able to meet awesome people like Alejandro. And even though Alejandro, you and I don't work in the same company or in the same team, I am just really happy that you are still part of my professional network. So I know you're here to share advice about networking beyond your comfort zone, which I think is a very relevant and important topic today. But before you go into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Leah. It's really good to be here. I'm glad you invited me to join. Hi everybody. I'm Alejandro Rivas. I work at a cybersecurity company. I would say the leading cybersecurity company called Trellix. Trellix. I am a partner marketing manager there, covering all sorts of partners that we have. Having a really good time and enjoy it. And I do want to say I'm a proud graduate of the University of Texas at El Paso. So go Miners. Woo! So if anyone out there is a UTEP miner, shout out to you guys.
So now you and I both know how important networking is, especially networking outside of your comfort zone for several reasons. But before we dive into the advice portion of things, tell
Yeah.
us, how are you knowledgeable in this topic?
Yeah, I've realized pretty much all my life I've had to network outside of my comfort zone either by choice or it just so happens that I needed to do it for whatever reason. The advice I'll give you, you'll see how I've done various different things. And if it wasn't for networking, I would not have had the opportunity to achieve the things that I've achieved or do the things that I've done. So it's it's kind of like a skill set that I have now that I have no issue with, and I would love to share what I can with others.
I think students feel that when they're in their comfort zone, you feel less awkward, you
Yeah,
feel less out of place, you feel
yeah,
confident, you actually like the people that you're talking to in your comfort zone. But you and I both know that you are missing out on opportunities when you're networking within your comfort
yeah.
zone. So please share with us, what is your advice about networking beyond your safety net, beyond your comfort zone?
Sure, I love it. So, the first thing that I would recommend is to join organizations or groups that you might not typically join, something that's more diverse. So, for example, like I said, I went to UTEP. I graduated with a electrical engineering degree, and as you can probably tell with my name and even how I look, I'm Hispanic. So while I was at UTEP, I joined an organization called the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. That was my comfort zone. I'm a Hispanic, I'm an engineer, I'm in my comfort zone, I'm in my bubble. And it's great because we all need that, right? We all need to feel like we belong. But I quickly realized that there were other organizations that could provide a lot of value and could help me with my career at the university and with my career beyond. So I looked at those organizations because at school they'll have that information like plastered around the halls or maybe on the internet. And so I joined several different ones, including like an organization called IEEE, which was designed specifically for electrical engineers. So, still a little bit of my comfort zone, but now I'm a little bit out of it because it's not just only Hispanics, right? And I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot about what is important for electrical engineers, what kind of career opportunities there are that exist. And that just helped me beyond just college, it helped me afterwards. And even now, as a professional, and I've been doing this for a while, I join various organizations. I know at Trellix, we have these things called employee resource groups, ERGs, and they
Right?
are there to promote the diversity of the company and whatnot. And obviously, I will join the one that's for Hispanics, but I also join the other ones that are for Black professionals, women professionals, even differently abled professionals. I join all those so I can meet various people, so I can network with them, so I can understand what is important to the various groups. And quite frankly, I've learned how we can work with each other. There might be something going on with the Black professional organization that maybe the Hispanic ones could leverage and learn from, and vice versa. So it's great opportunity to for yourself to learn a lot, gain a lot of education, gain a lot of value, and just to meet other people that maybe you normally wouldn't meet. So I highly recommend doing that. Number two is use LinkedIn. I mean, it is the number one professional platform that's out there. It's different than all the other social platforms, different than like Snapchat and all that other stuff. It is designed for professionals, built by professionals, and it is to help with you with your networking. Now, how would you use LinkedIn? Let's say you're about to graduate or you recently graduated and you want to learn more about something. Once again, I graduated with my engineering degree, but let's say I wanted to explore options outside of an engineering path because what I do now has nothing to do with engineering. But let's say I'm getting started. What would I do? A quick thing you could do is even look on LinkedIn, you do a search for, let's say, your college or your university. I could search for UTEP. I could, let's say I wanted to look at marketing. I could search for UTEP. I could search for marketing. I can see who has graduated from UTEP and is doing some marketing work, as an example. Then I would reach out to them. I'd click on connect. And a lot of times, or most of the times, you get the option that says, oh, do you want to write a little note? Definitely do it.
I I agree with that. Mhm.
Yeah, right. So I'm about to graduate. I see we're from the same university. I'm graduating with this degree, but I'm looking at that. I would just like to connect and chat. And 99% of the time, people are going to say yes. And I wouldn't even stop there. Let's say you are working at a company already and you want to learn from different organizations. You can look on LinkedIn for your company, see who does what, and say, hey, I'm part of the company. I would love to meet with you in real life and on LinkedIn. Let's chat. And it could be anybody at any level of the organization. It doesn't matter how high up they are, just try it. The only positive thing, or all the positive things could happen. The only negative thing would be maybe they don't accept your invitation, but that's fine, right?
That's
Just keep
okay. You
trying
move
it.
on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so use LinkedIn for, like I said, for inside the organization and for outside to meet with other people. And those clubs and stuff that I talked about, they all have a presence on LinkedIn. So you could always check, hey, is there a club here in the city that I live in? And maybe they do meet in person. I'll connect
Yes.
with them and go that route. So the third point is something that's just I'm really excited about. It's making a lot of national headlines recently. It's something that I'm sure a lot of your viewers are familiar with, and it's called Chat GPT. And for those that may not know what it is, it's basically chat bot that you yourself on your browser, you can connect to it, go to the website, and you can ask it questions. And it has basically the power of the internet as a chat bot. And what I love about it is you can actually ask it to network with you. So, for example, let's say you're an engineer and you're going to go to an event. Maybe the event's more about marketing or something else that's not strictly engineering. You could say, "Hey, I'm going to try to meet some people at this event or conference or whatever it is related to marketing. What are some networking questions that I could possibly ask whoever I meet that would help kick things off on the right foot?" And it will actually spit out some questions for you, and maybe it'll come out with 10, and you take a couple of them, two or three, and be like, okay, this will be some good opening stuff that I can at least talk with. And as a matter of fact, you can use ChatGPT to really ask you questions back and forth and even rate your answers if you want.
Oh my
um,
gosh, I didn't know about that.
yeah, it's totally cool. So it has a lot of the capability that's there, a lot of the it's like if you're talking to a real person. Like if I'm talking to you, Aaliyah, it could ask me questions, I could respond. It
Oh,
it could follow
wow.
up with another question.
Oh
I can
my
respond to that.
goodness. It's a
Yeah,
great
it'll
place
keep
to practice even interviewing in a
even
chat box
interviewing.
way, but still, get you to think about probing questions that could be asked during an interview too.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I love it, and it's all over the headlines. People are talking about it. Even my family's talking about it. Now, in my own family, my wife and kids, they roll their eyes when I talk about it, but I love it. It's definitely the way to go when it comes
Right.
to knowledge and networking and any of that stuff. So I highly, highly, highly recommend using it. And I especially say that for even in my career with cybersecurity, we have a definite need to hire more people because cybersecurity is something that's huge, affecting all of us in some way. We need to hire more people. And if you can use ChatGPT to explain some concepts to you about cybersecurity, maybe you have no idea what is involved, ask it to tell you some stuff. And if you don't quite understand, say, can you provide an analogy? And it'll provide an analogy for these concepts. And so
Oh,
it's
wow.
a huge thing, a huge game changer for a lot of people.
There's no denying when it comes to networking, meeting new people, you're going to feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may come off as an extrovert, but I still get nervous meeting people. I still get nervous going to a networking event. So
Yeah.
again, sometimes meeting new people, you can feel uncomfortable. But I think from your advice today and what you're talking about, going out there and diversifying your actual pockets of network to meet new people, if you can face your fears, you'll just be amazed with the connections you can make with your coworkers, old friends, new friends, and even strangers. Three things you need to remember networking beyond your comfort zone. One, joining diverse student organizations. Two, use LinkedIn. And three, practice networking with ChatGPT. So, Alejandro, this is really good advice. And to wrap things up, do you have any last piece of advice that you would like to offer to our viewers today?
Just remember when you're networking, people, we're just people, right? We want to be able to relate to other people no matter what background we're from. We want to be able to connect on some level. So if you can find that commonality, whether it's the school, whether it's your major, whether it's your ethnicity, or even when you're at a conference, like I mentioned earlier, even the commonality would be that you're both at that conference and maybe that person that you want to network spoke at that conference. Whatever the commonality is, try to find what that is. And as long as the other person feels that you're being sincere and you're being earnest about how you're approaching them, they will gladly chat with you. And this happens with anybody. Like I said, even at any level of the organization, if they feel like, yeah, you're really being a, you just want to connect, and there's no hidden agenda per se, they'll love to talk with you because and you can reach out to me and I'll definitely connect with you and talk with you and offer advice if you want. So,
Oh, that's really nice of you to offer that.
yeah,
Again, Alejandro, thank you so much for being on the show,
yeah.
offering your insights and really good advice about networking outside of your comfort zone today.
If any of the audience is looking into the field of cybersecurity, obviously I'll say look at my company, but we've launched a campaign called Soulful Work. And I want to make sure to get that in there to show how, you could be a job that's soulless, or
Oh
you could
my
be in
goodness.
cybersecurity that's soulful, right? And so go to hashtag Soulful Work and look that up on LinkedIn, and you'll find a lot of information out there.
Well, perfect. And I'm going to put all of that information in the description. So it's going to be easy
Perfect.
for our viewers to find. But thank you again, Alejandro, for being here. And then to our viewers, subscribe for more career advice from industry experts like Alejandro every week here on Early Career Unlocked.